Hi, everybody. It's Litecoin Lisa. I have an extra special day for you today. We're going to have two shows. I wanted you to meet some of the people from Warriors for Freedom and just hear their story and why we're so passionate about supporting them this year. Mom and I got some help from my friend Major Ed here in Oklahoma City, and this is one of the foundations here that is doing some amazing work. And so I want you guys to learn about it and get inspired. So you will get to Oklahoma City, come to the event, and give big to support what they're doing. So I'll be right back right after this. Hi, everybody. I am Litecoin Lisa. You guys also know me as Lisa Mighty Davis, and that name came from my amazing daughter, Mighty Mia. We have a family foundation, and we honor her life every year. And this year, we are going to be having an event, the Team Mighty Freedom event, Freedom Celebration, and we are honoring a champion and a warrior this year. And Xweir and the Road to Ruta crew are our champions. And my dad, my pops, is our warrior this year. We're asking you to come join us in Oklahoma City. You can get your tickets if you go to team22.eventbrite.com, and you'll learn more there. So you guys join us in Oklahoma City. Come to my hometown and hear about freedom and the inspiring story of Mighty Mia. We'd love to see you there. We are back on the show. Welcome to the show, Derek. I'm so glad to have you here. I appreciate you taking time. I know you guys are very busy over there at the Warrior Foundation. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Lisa.
Yeah, we're really excited about this event. We're excited about what you guys are doing. Like I said, we found out about your work through Major Ed. Ed has been a friend of mine for a few years, and really like to see what you guys are doing. Can you tell a little bit, tell my community a little bit about kind of how you guys got started and the work that you're doing there at the Warriors for Freedom Foundation?
Absolutely. Yeah. And Ed Polito is a great guy. I'm glad that you had the chance to make acquaintances and have a friendship with him. He's in fact one of our co-founders here at Warriors for Freedom. He and Brett Dick, Brett's a civilian. Obviously, Major Ed Polito was, in the military and had a roadside bomb, had his leg amputated. But they decided to start this organization called Warriors for Freedom, and we're in our 10th year. It started 10 years ago, and it started basically as a jump-off point to get veterans to speak to the public about veteran suicide. And mental health issues that we're dealing with as we're coming home from Iraq and Afghanistan. And it kind of morphed into more of a peer-to-peer support recreational therapy program to where it's at now. So, there's many facets to what we do. But when it comes down to it, what we're doing is providing mental health therapy to veterans and serving as a gateway to wellness for those veterans and active duty that are coming off of deployments, that are having issues with PTSD, traumatic brain injuries, physical injuries due to their service. We do this through peer-to-peer support is what I love to tell people, because that is the most important, to be able to get together, vet on active duty, and talk about the struggles that we're having, whether it's PTSD, whether it's substance abuse, whether it's, me saying, I have a problem with sleeping. I have a problem acclimating to coming back home from Iraq, where I used to take care of all the finances, and these are my responsibilities. Now my spouse, has gained independence and is doing that. I don't know where my role is. I don't know what my mission is. And a lot of that turns into our mission being gone. And a lot of us wind up taking our own lives, taking to seclusion, taking to just shutting ourselves off. And a lot of that leads to drinking, prescription drug abuse, things like that. And that ultimately is one of
That's
the issues.
self-medicating and
Yeah,
isolation, and yeah.
yeah, and unfortunately leads to the tragic epidemic of veteran suicide, which
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people know that 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. What I tell people here in Oklahoma is 158 as of 2019, 158 Oklahoma veterans committed suicide. And so that's one of our missions here at Warriors for Freedom is our campaign R22, remembering the 22.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where our mental health program comes into play. Um, so we do have programs like hunting, fishing, golfing. Believe it or not, since we are a landlocked state, we have scuba diving.
Ouch.
And we're able to take, through the generosity of a lot of sponsors and donors, we're able to take some veterans out scuba diving into places like Florida and Mexico and things like that. And that's mainly for our veterans and active duty with traumatic brain injuries, just because of the barometric pressure. There's been studies done on that, on how that improves the function with traumatic brain injuries.
Oh, wow.
And
Interesting.
so, in mentioning all those recreational activities, a lot of um, a lot of it is, it's not a one size fits all approach to healing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of my brothers in arms, brothers and sisters in arms, don't like killing things anymore.
Mm-hmm.
So but they might like golfing or they might like fishing.
Mm-hmm.
So really, anything we can do to bring a veteran or an active duty service member out of the shadows and into the light, um, that's what we'll do. Anything short of anything, we will do everything we can to touch as many veterans as possible.
Well, I just think it's such important work, and I love that you're building community for them. I think that's a big part of what we're trying to do at Team Mighty, and what we focus on or what we value is community. And so, just finding the work that you guys are doing, and it really honors. My dad was a Korean War vet and an atomic vet, and was in was in Ironside's battalion, which we've come to find out is with the founder's son is in Ironside's battalion, and he will be there at the event as well to present my mom with a flag, which I thought was so thoughtful of you guys. I'm really excited about that, and but I just think what you guys do is so very thoughtful and very community based. I'm seeing like you have these opportunities and resources where the veterans are have these community coffees where you do those monthly. What are the opportunities for veterans to get involved?
So we have, like I mentioned before, the peer-to-peer support programs. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I can sit here all day and break it down, but ultimately
Oh
it can
yeah, there's a
be
lot.
like you just said. 10 to 20 veterans getting together here at our headquarters for coffee, and for a couple hours we just sit and we talk about either the struggles we had when we were in, or the good times
Mm-hmm.
that we had when we were in, the struggles we had when we got out and what we did to overcome those. Something as simple as just getting together for coffee, and then something as logistically challenging as planning a hunting event that's 5 to 6 hours away or another country away. So yeah, from small groups to big groups,
Mm-hmm.
veterans and active duty service members, they are all welcome to look at our website. They're welcome to call us. They're welcome to show up at our front door. We have a veteran lounge. They're welcome to show up anytime they want. Any veteran that contacts us, it's our protocol to get back with them within 72 hours. Generally, it's within the first 2 or 3 hours, but within the first 72 hours, we like to make contact with that veteran. I love to, and the other veterans that are here at the organization um, like to get a face to face with that veteran and their
Mm-hmm.
family. It's because here's the thing, it started out, it was just focusing on veterans. And what we saw was that wasn't enough. It wasn't enough just to have the veteran go through a healing process that we provide. It was more bringing more of a fostering a team environment where the spouse and the family could see what the veteran is doing to be impacted by our organization, and have that team effort healing that individual with the issues that they're having going on. Because to be completely honest, the majority of the veterans that are in our program are male.
Mhm.
And I know for me, my wife is the one that pushes me to do things that are helping me. And so generally, if we can get the wife involved or the spouse
Right. Really
involved,
have that partnership.
the
Yeah.
partnership and that person to say, you know what, I've seen this help you. Go do
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
I think it's a great idea.
The
Why don't you?
accountability.
Yeah, why don't you let them come over and talk to you? One thing that I did leave out, Lisa, that I wanted to hit on real quick, if
Hmm.
it's okay, as far as the veteran suicide aspect, I have with me. I've meant to do it electronically, and I don't know if you can see this very
Maybe keep it.
well.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
this is my friend, one of my best friends, Jared White. Um, we served together for about 3 years with 3rd Battalion, 5th Marines, 1st Marine Division out of Camp Pendleton, California. We served in Iraq, in Fallujah together. And he went on to serve about 3 more tours in Afghanistan. And he came back, and he just simply wasn't the same, which is the case for many of us. You're going to change, but he ended up changing for the worse. And he was a brilliant man. I consider myself honored and lucky to have served and walked with him. I always say, those men that either died over there or couldn't maybe handle the fight on the grounds on the way back into the civilian world. I got to walk amongst giants, and
Mm.
those were the inspirations for me to do what I do now. And I live my day every life. I live my life every day for people like Jared, and for those of my brothers that didn't make it back home. And Jared ended up taking his own life, um, just due to, in last conversation that he and I had was, I just want to go back where it's normal, meaning, he wanted to go back to Afghanistan where, for him that was his normal. And he couldn't do that anymore because the military had deemed he wasn't mentally equipped to do that anymore. And so, um, without a mission, without a support system, he ended up taking his own life. And so, he was in his late 20s, and it's a shame. And
It's heartbreaking.
but that's why I love what I do every day. Is I try as hard as I can, and my team tries as hard as they can to impact as many veterans as possible.
I love hearing what you guys are doing. I just think it's so powerful. And I know it will just make, I know it's going to make my dad, I know my dad is so proud of, us choosing to honor my daughter's birthday this way. We celebrate her life every year. And my dad's our warrior this year. And he was 90 years old when he passed. And he just was very proud of the military and very much a patriot. And he loved the outdoors and he loves community. And so it just falls right in line with what you guys are doing to support. I also want to bring up the volunteer opportunities, because you guys also not only allow opportunities for financial giving or donations, but there's events that you can attend to support financially. But you can also come, and you guys had a car wash where people could come and like help wash veterans' cars so they can drive through and you can wash their car and you can serve a vet. You had different opportunities like that. I thought that was really cool. Um, and there was also I think there was picnics for active duty servicemen and women. Now those aren't volunteer opportunities, I don't think, but or are they? I'm not sure. Um,
Really anything we do there is a volunteer opportunity.
okay.
There are only 3 of us on staff.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we just this year, and it's only August now, I guess. Yeah, August, and we've already had 172 events, whether they be big or small.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
and so we really rely on our volunteers, and our volunteers are, active duty, reserve, veterans, civilians. We don't discriminate. If you want to volunteer, there's, as you can see, there's opportunities all over our website to volunteer your time for our golf tournaments, for our fishing
Hmm.
tournaments, um, for the picnics and family days that we put together. The car
Okay.
wash that you just mentioned, we call it the Vet Bod Car Wash, because a lot of us, we get out
Cute.
of the military and we don't run 10 miles every day like we would
Every day.
do in the military. So we're not all in tip top shape like we used to be. So that was kind of a fun day, but we had a lot of civilians come out and actually help us out with cleaning all those cars up, and it was a really good day. It was really fun.
That's really cool. Well, I signed up, so I will be there as much as possible, and I'm going to share this opportunity with my homeschool crew as well. And I'm sharing it right now with our community online. They are a bunch of great volunteer driven, get involved kind of people. So I hope that really helps too. I just think what you guys are doing is amazing. So we did add an additional opportunity that I'm going to be talking about a little bit later. I've been pushing myself, trying to make sure that this is going to be a great event and that we have exhaust every opportunity for people to give and get involved in this event. And so I pushed myself electronically and figured out we're going to have an online auction opportunity, and we will have an opportunity for people to buy tickets online to be able to view a private stream to watch the event live. And when you do that, you will also be purchasing a raffle ticket to be entered to win one of the Cubit House animated NFTs that are worth anywhere from $5,000 to $8,000. So that was just posted this morning. I stayed up till about 10:30 last night working on that, figuring that out. But I did it. So hopefully we can sell some more tickets and get some more people involved so we can have a bigger donation for you guys. And I'm just really excited about it. We've got Andy Scheckman coming in from Miles Franklin Mint, and more people coming in from all over the country. And hopefully we'll have some great Oklahomans joining us as well. So I'm very excited about it. Cannot wait to meet you guys. And I appreciate you letting me be a part of this and honor my family this way and be a part of what you guys are doing. And I'm just so grateful to see that, the hard work that you guys put in for the veterans, and especially right now in this time in our country right now. I'm curious what your thoughts are on this bill, and if it's a little too dicey or political uh, for you to touch on, but I think you would be the perfect person to ask your opinion on it, where they were trying to pass a bill saying it was for the veterans, but then they were stuffing it with all kinds of things. Um, what were your thoughts or feelings um, on that getting shut down?
Lisa? Can you elaborate just a little more on the?
Yeah. So there was a bill in Oklahoma, or well, no, I'm sorry, it was a national bill. It was a VA veterans bill. They called it the veterans. Originally, it was just a veterans bill, and it was about supporting the veterans and all that. And then it got to I think it got to the House, and they shoved in a bunch of discretionary spend or non. I think it's non-discretionary spending was the issue,
Mhm.
and so packed it on the back of patriots basically or veterans, which would allow them to spend the money however they want, not necessarily for the veterans. And so it was kind of like using our veterans, in my opinion, to like, oh, this bill is about the veterans, but then they pack in all this stuff on the backside and try to make it look like, oh, well, you're not voting for the veterans, um, it just was really, I was really angry about it. I know a lot of our veteran hospitals and things, like I have some friends and they say, oh gosh, it's really hard to get in. You have to wait for so long. And it was my understanding when Trump was in that he changed some things to where you didn't have to wait to go to the VA hospital. You could see any doctor, and then the VA would like reimburse that doctor instead of you having to wait to go to the VA. Um, do you see those medical changes? Are they still happening? Or good things happening for the veterans? Do we still need more change for the veterans?
Yeah, I think, I mean, obviously change and progression is always needed. Um, I will say that one, I'm not allowed to endorse either party as a nonprofit
Sure,
representative.
sure.
But I will say that that change was a big step forward for us, and I experienced it firsthand. There were such long wait lines for the veterans here in Oklahoma City VA, where we couldn't get in. Like I couldn't get in to see an optometrist, or I couldn't get in to see an orthopedic surgeon the way I needed to within a certain amount of time. And they did refer me out to whichever private practice that I wanted to go to, and was able to be seen that next week.
Wow.
And so that was a big step forward from the VA, and that's something that I didn't expect, because I've been out for 8 years now, and my experiences with the VA have been, I'll probably say neutral. When it comes to the big things, absolutely, the VA here in Oklahoma is spot on. When it comes to the smaller primary care type stuff, there's a lot of work to be done there. And as far as the discretionary spending, and as far as earmarking maybe funding towards something else, and utilizing, maybe exploiting veterans, that's been going on since the beginning of time, really, or the beginning of armed forces. It's, no one's going to say no to veterans, but you can also, just like government does, slip in, this is what we want to have. We want to have a certain pot over here, and we're going to say it's for veterans. So that's the norm for me anyway. I mean, unfortunately, there are many organizations that do exploit us, but there are also a number of organizations, and just like yourself, a number of patriots that are willing to get behind us and push agendas forward.
That's what we can focus on, I guess, is those good things, and get behind organizations like the work that you guys are doing. Because, I think that's what, when we're in this time, people are looking for, what can we do? What are the positive things we can focus on? And what are the actions we can take when we feel disempowered, whether it's about our vote or what's going on in the world or whatever. And I think watching what you guys are doing, taking that action and saying, like, I can be a part of that. I can get behind that. That is a good thing. And I'm just really grateful. And I love the stories that you guys are able to share, when the veterans feel comfortable sharing their stories. You guys can go to their website and click on stories, and they have several stories there. They were able to help a family that recently lost their home in a fire. They're just constantly doing stuff. And if you can't get behind this, I don't know what you can get behind. So get to Oklahoma City. Do you have any other information or points that you want to share with? I don't want to shut it down if you.
Yeah, I mean, I could probably sit here and talk with you all day, Lisa. I'm so passionate about our mission. I've been involved with it for 8 years now, and there are so many situations that have come up, and it's just it's a different story every day. I had a veteran call last year, and he was in such a way mentally. He had his 5-year-old daughter with him in his apartment, and he told me that he was going to kill his daughter, and he was going to then kill himself. I asked him his address and asked him if it was okay if I come over and we talk about it before he went ahead and did that. Fortunately, he gave me his address. I went over there, was able to talk a gun off of him, able to get a social worker in there for his daughter and take him to the VA, and they brought him in automatically with a mental health crisis. Um,
Wow.
that's the best outcome for something like that. And that's probably to the extreme of some of the things that we do. Um, but to be a part of something like that, it kind of just proves a lot of it. A lot of veteran suicide prevention is we just want someone to tell us don't do it. And what our saying now is, are you bold enough? Are you strong enough to come forward and tell us you have an issue? Tell a brother or a sister that you're having an issue, and let's see if we can get through this together. You know, suicide prevention. If it was an easy answer, then I wouldn't have a job, and we wouldn't be in a national crisis with veteran suicide numbers. But it takes people like us, and it takes people like yourself getting behind such a cause to make that impact, to reduce that number. This year and the past year have been the hardest from a fundraising and development perspective than it ever has. So to run into your organization, and for your father to have allowed us to follow in his footsteps as military men and women. I mean, the old Ironsides. That's what us young guys called back when the men were men. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we are men and women serving, but those guys really led the charge and set the precedent for what we should be doing. And I was at a city council meeting last night, and the chaplain stood up to give the benediction, and he'd said something that resonated with me big time. And it was, Lord, we need you now more than ever in America. We need your help to shine on down upon us and our veterans. And it's so true. I wish that we could just get back to those core values, and the military get back to the way it needs to be, and patriots get back to the core values of America. And you guys are doing that with your showing your love for organizations like ours. And I'm so glad to be partnered with you guys, Lisa.
I appreciate it. It's just going to be a great day. I'm super excited to introduce my community to you guys, and I'm excited to get partnered with you guys to volunteer and be a part of what you're doing, and share stories with everyone, and help more veterans. And so I would like to say thank you for your service, both in the military, and thank you for your service with what you're doing now, because I think it's just incredible.
Thank you for your
So
support.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. It's my privilege for sure. Um, Everybody, please give this video a like and share this video. There is a link in the description to a post that I just made on the Team Mighty blog, where you can click to purchase your ticket to come to Oklahoma City and join us at the event in person, or you can have that new option that I created, where you will be able to, once you pay for your ticket and your raffle ticket, it's all in one click. On your confirmation page, it will give you a private link to the streaming. So you'll be able to watch the event live and be part of it with us in spirit, digitally, virtually. And that will enter you in the raffle for one of those Qubit House NFTs. So we're going to make this happen, and we're going to help some veterans. We're going to make our country strong, and we're going to do it together as a community. So I'm grateful. Thanks again, Derek. I appreciate you.
You got it. Thank you, Lisa.